Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being with us today on the first Wednesday of August 2025. I'm happy to see familiar faces as well as if you're new, welcome. I'm Olivia Rios, Director of Operations and Programs at the Latino Chamber. So thank you all. I know that you could be doing something else, but decided to invest your time this morning to learn more about today's program. And first and foremost, I'd like to thank BMO for being a corporate partner at the Latino Chamber. They have the hard task of finding organizations who's aligned with their goals. So thank you. The key is to most partnerships is all relationship based. So remember, everyone is watching what you do, so be kind. Today, we'll be speaking with BMO's Premier Services and Zero to Barriers team for a conversation over Cafecito. So hopefully you've gotten your cup and are ready to roll. Our speakers will unpack a critical intersection of generational wealth and succession plan for Hispanic-Latino business owners, offering practical insights and living experiences in a relaxed, culturally relevant setting. They will cover zero to barriers and what it is a zero to barriers business plan, business advisors, and the importance of a coach in your corner and business life cycles. At this point, I'd like to introduce our three speakers: Angel Pastrana, Senior Regional Strategist; Daniel Rodriguez, Vice President, Market Strategist; and Ricardo Enriquez, Senior Premier Relationship Manager. But before we start, we ask you to meet yourselves. This session will be interactive, and Rico from the BMO team will be managing that part of the program. And after our session, I'll be sharing details on upcoming events and programs. So at this point, I'd like to turn it over to Ricardo. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, good morning, everybody. My name is Ricardo Enriquez. I don't have a cafecito, but I have a ice blended drink if everybody likes that. Uh, so good morning. This is my first time being part of the group and speaking on behalf of Premier Banking. I just want to share a little bit about myself, what I do here at the bank. So as a Premier banker, I've been in the industry for about 20 plus years. I started banking when I was 18 years old, worked up my ranks, became a licensed banker, came from a different organizations, and now I'm here at BMO. I've been with BMO for about 2 plus years, and part of my role is as a premier banker. I manage clients with the threshold of 250,000 all the way up to 2 million. We offer a premier banking service, which is like an extension of the private bank with BMO. But part of that, where we help out clients, is we're not just transactional based, we're relationship based. And what I mean by that is that we coach clients through different spectrums, like from different, depending on their life stages, and one of them is like just helping them open up a checking, savings account, looking at CDs. Not just that, my job expands to learning more about the client, building a relationship with the client, and seeing how we could help out. So if we help out clients from when they have trust or estates, they have questions about wealth management, financial planning, and then also helping them how to, helping them on credits, especially we deal with home equity lines of credits and also credit cards. So there's different conversations, different ways I can impact the client's life. So that's a little bit about me. And yeah, that's what Premier Banking is all about here at BMO. It's not transactional, it's relationship based.
And Angel, please join
Uh,
us. Oh,
I'm having some difficulty.
okay.
Yeah, sorry. I'm having some difficulty with my hold on.
It's okay. I can take it from here if anything.
Yeah, sorry, I'm back on. Did you guys catch everything that I said? I just want to make sure. Sorry, I was having some technical difficulties. So thank you so much, everybody. And that's a little bit about Premier Banking, and I'm here to assist in any ways.
Thank you, Ricky. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen with you all here so we can go over the deck. 1 second. If somebody can give me a thumbs up when you guys can see my screen that's being shared. Awesome. Thank you. So, like Olivia mentioned, my name is Angel Pastrana. I'm a senior regional strategist here at BMO, specifically speaking for our program called Zero Barriers to Business, which is a program that's focused on helping out minority-owned businesses, specifically speaking for today, or Hispanic and Latino-owned businesses. This program came about in late 2020, early 2021. And in a little bit we'll be able to go over through it all, but also I just wanted to really introduce myself to you guys. So again, my name is Angel. I've been at BMO since October of 2023. I've been in the banking industry since 2013. I started as a teller many years ago, worked my way up, did business banking, financial advising, commercial banking, and then I decided to take a lateral move into the strategy side so I can really help out those minority-owned businesses. I myself come from a family of business owners, and I remember, like growing up, being a first, learning Spanish first in my family, like being able to translate documents for everybody and things of that sort. My relatives not knowing, what resources were out there for them. So I found that this was going to be a good calling for me to be able to help advocate for what's out there for minority-owned businesses, specifically speaking for those that I can represent myself. With that, you guys can see on the slide here my information. With that, I'll pass it on to Daniel.
Hey, thank you, Angel. So good morning, everyone. Buenos dias. My name is Daniel Rodriguez. I am the market strategist for Southern California, supporting our Zero Barriers to Business program. Much like Angel, I've been in the industry now for almost 20 years. Also started as a teller, worked my way up through the ranks. My dad was also an entrepreneur. So it was definitely encouraging to be able to provide him with different information, right? As we grew in our careers, we were able to kind of share that insight that normally, minority-owned businesses don't have access to, right? So it's definitely an exciting time for me to be able to support my dad's own entrepreneurial journey, and then also being able to support minority-owned businesses, specifically today, supporting the Latino and Hispanic community. Oh, and there's my information as well. So I'll get us going here. So I'll touch a little bit more about the Zero Barriers to Business program. So like as Angel mentioned, right, we launched this program November of 2020 with the intention of helping folks grow within their businesses, right? Because we realized that during the pandemic, a lot of people channeled their entrepreneur spirit or created, side businesses and things of that sort. So they were leveraging personal credit. And I'll get into more detail about what our credit requirements look like and how we're supporting our communities. But first and foremost, I just want to go over BMO's purpose. So our goal is to boldly grow the good in business and in life. And we do this very intentionally, right? Supporting the communities that we serve. We want to be a catalyst for change and make bold decisions for the right reasons. And so I'm sure you guys are all aware now that BMO actually acquired Bank of the West. So we were acquired in 2023. And as part of that, we want to create meaningful change for economic inclusion. So what our BMO Empower 2.0 program is actually about is a $40 billion plan outlining commitments to local communities across BMO's expanded footprint. We're now in 32 states after acquiring Bank of the West. As you can see here, our commitment is broken down in a few different layers, right? So the first layer there, we are committing over the next 5 years to be able to support $7.5 billion for residential mortgage lending to low to moderate income homebuyers and communities of color, $15.5 billion for community development loans and investments, $2 billion for vital community assets and resources for women and minority-owned businesses, $135 million through our philanthropic efforts through our foundation, and then finally, the small business lending sector that Angel and I are proud to support, right? So we want to make sure that we're supporting businesses with $16.5 billion for small business lending throughout that 5-year period. Our particular focus, though, is to be able to support minority-owned businesses with up to $300 million in funding, and we're going to be doing that through our program, Zero Barriers to Business program. All right, perfect. So here is our program. So we're empowering Asian, Black, Hispanic, Latino, specifically today, LGBTQ+, Native, veteran, and women-owned businesses. And so some data by the numbers, right? So a little under a third of small businesses in the United States are minority owned. And we noticed that there's a growth rate of 11% year over year. And then finally, one of the challenges that we saw and the reason why we created this program is that a little under half of minority owned businesses reported difficulty obtaining credit versus a third of non-minority owned businesses. Rico, I think I saw a question come in.
Have a question. Thank you for that. I'm just loading it up in my end. Bear with me. So it says, I'm looking to buy a business. If anyone is interested in selling, email me. So this is just sharing if anyone is looking to sell. So why not? Please do. If you're interested, there is an email here. So go ahead and reach out.
Thank you, Rico. All right, next slide. All right, perfect. So here's the actual program itself. So as I mentioned, right, as long as you self-identify is the keyword here. As long as you self-identify as one or multiple of the minority segments that we're supporting, specific today for BMO Hispanic-Latino owned businesses, you have access to 3 pillars of our program. Our first pillar is better access to capital. So we're offering a line of credit of up to $50,000 with expanded credit criteria and competitive interest rates. Typical bank financing requires credit scores of 660 and above. With this particular program, for our Hispanic Latino owned businesses, the minimum FICO is 617. And again, this is very intentional, right? When we launched the program, because we realized that a lot of small businesses were leveraging personal credit to start, scaling and growing their businesses. Our second pillar of our program, which Angela will kind of go into a little bit later here in the session, is better access to education. So we want to help businesses achieve real financial progress through practical tools, virtual events, in-person events, and then coaching as well. And then finally, my favorite pillar of our program is better access to partnerships. So we formed partnerships with different organizations to give access to meaningful networks and also alternative funding sources. I did see another question there. I know Angel responded to it. Yes, we do support ITIN borrowers. Oh, looks like another question popped in.
I think they're asking, that one was more about details of contact. So
Yeah.
we'll definitely share that at the end. So definitely we will share even QR codes, I believe, easy access to set up appointments and just get your answers questions. So we'll definitely share that. And my latency on responding, for some reason, the questions are coming in slower than you speaking, but back to you.
No
Rico,
worries,
if you
Rico.
can, I can assist as they populate.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. And then the next slide here is just, what the impact of the Hispanic Latino owned business programs have done in our communities. So as you can see, we host semi-annual quarterly roundtables with different participants to find out, hey, how has the program been impactful within their communities? So as you can see here, right, we had a Spanish-speaking roundtable participant that stated, hey, we don't know what we don't know. And BMO helped me get the information to help me make the best decision for my business. So definitely some great feedback that we hear throughout the communities we serve. And then finally, with that, I will turn it over to Angel. He's going to be discussing business plans, the importance of business advisors, and also one of our unique programs through our access to education pillar, Coaching Your Corner. Angel, over to you. You're on mute.
Thank you, Daniel. So you guys have had this slide here up for a couple seconds here, so you guys can get the link. But again, everything is going to be shared on the chat for you guys. Daniel, if you don't mind dropping it in there, I'm going to move another one of my screens over to you guys that basically is already there. So this is our Zero Barriers to Business landing page under BMO's website. So if we were to go all the way down here, we have a landing page for each of the 7 affinities that we work with. So for today's conversation, Hispanic and Latino businesses. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this. And this is where we're going to be going over our business plans before I touch on the Coaching Your Corner. So as you go navigate to our website, if you just scroll all the way down, we have articles, videos, podcasts, templates, and calculators here for you all. And one thing that we've done, we've worked very diligently everybody that's from BMO that's on this call right now, we've been working very hard to get a lot of our templates and calculators translated into both into Spanish as well. So I know that most of the audience here today is English speaking. So for that, I'm just going to go ahead and click on our business plan template. This is just some templates that we have here that are free. Most of the time, other institutions may have them as proprietary. One thing that we found that's useful is that we need to be able to open that up to everybody so that, like the name of our program, so we can help break down those barriers for you guys. So just give me a second while this loads up. It's going to populate a Word document for me. But this is accessible to anybody, whether you bank with BMO or not. So if you guys go to the website that I believe Daniel has dropped already in there for you or will drop, you guys can go in here and get this template yourself. And like I mentioned, it's both in English and Spanish.
And as we're waiting for that, I guess the question that came up internally is, how would you all connect for people that are on the call here trying to manage their wealth, not only personal wealth, but maybe seeking, as we heard, seeking to buy a business, or you have a business and you want to start planning for succession, thinking, oh, is my daughter or my children going to take over this business? Are they interested? How's that connectivity, I guess, with Enrique on the call with Premier and with you all here? How do you guys work in unison? I know we heard about relationship planning, and you're about to deep dive, I'm sure, on business planning. But before we deep dive, I guess, how do we connect all those dots for everyone here?
Yes, so I'm actually going to touch on that one as soon as I'm done with the business template. So where it says coaching your corner, that's kind of where I'm going to be able to correlate the two together and show how we cross-pollinate throughout the bank, whether it's premier banking, business banking, wealth management, and all those stuff. And then at the very end, I'm also going to touch on the business life cycles, so that that way you also know as a business owner, when is the right time to get connected with the right personnel, such as, Ricky, maybe, that can help you with a succession plan or an exit strategy at least. And can you guys still see my screen with the business plan? Okay, great. So again, this is just a business plan template. It's pretty lengthy. It's 17 pages long, but that's essentially what a business plan really is. Now, one thing I always say
we have a question. Sorry to interrupt. I'm so sorry. We have some people here just answering questions, but I believe maybe we could hold off on the questions just a little bit so you can get through this. So it's not that we don't want to answer the question of the city municipality partner. So more to come on that. Just give me a minute. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you. So with the business plan, and I always tell business owners, if you don't have a business plan, you don't have a business, you have a hobby. And I don't say this for you guys to take it the wrong way. It's just, if you're really serious about your business, you want to be able to scale your business, be successful with it. Oftentimes, I'm sure you guys have goals of, if you don't have a first home, to buy your first home, maybe buy your second one, then build some generational wealth. So being able to have a business plan that is updated consistently, quarter after quarter, year after year, similar to, how people do it on their personal end. Some of us, we journal, we talk about what's working, what's not working. It's the same way with a business plan in your business. So it kind of just gives you the structure of what you need to do. So if you're going to turn it over to somebody, sometimes, lenders may be asking for a business plan. Maybe that for some, I remember somebody put in the chat that they're looking to buy a business. If you're looking to buy a business, you may need a loan to purchase that business. And if you go to a third-party lender, they're going to ask for a business plan. So this is a template that you can utilize to provide to them to execute on it. So it gives you an executive summary, business background. So you're able to talk about what you've done, whether you work in the industry already yourself. Are you going to be onboarding somebody from that business that you're going to be acquiring and such, things of that sort. That allows you to put in your business strategy, some tactics that you've done, some of the core values, mission statement, and credibility, some risk. And then it allows you to talk about your team. This is where it allows you to highlight who your key players are in your team, whether you have a general manager, a lifelong employee, somebody that's been there for 20 years, things of that sort there for you as well. A SWOT analysis. So this lets you, SWOT analysis, SWOT basically stands for strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. So as a business owner, and I say that this is, something that everybody should practice even on their personal life. do a SWOT analysis to see. This is going to give you an understanding of where your business stands and how well you know your business as well. So I would say, always maximize the opportunities that you have here for yourself.
Angel, real quick, someone asked if you can zoom in on the document a little bit.
Sure. Is that better?
Yeah, there you go. That's getting better. And just real quick, as you guys can see, so the business plan template that we offer gives you descriptions, right, of what needs to be filled out in each section. So it's pretty much a plug and play document. So as you can see there, right, explain what market research you've done, etc. So we won't cover this too much. We want to make sure that we get through all the other information. But as you can see, it's a pretty robust document available for you to use. And also you can find those links there. I put the links in the chat for you, and Enrico did as well.
Perfect. So yeah, so I mean, this is essentially what it is. I'm not going to go through the entire 17 pages, but like Daniel mentioned, I just realized I have my screens on dark mode because I don't want it to be so bright. So I feel like that's also making it difficult for you guys to see. But the links are on the chat. I showed you guys how to navigate to these templates as well, and I can do it once again for you guys. So you go to our website. This is our first our landing page right here. You just scroll down. You select how you want to self-identify for the at yourself there. Once you click on that, you go all the way down to templates and calculators. And this is where you find what we have. So I mean, that was just one of many that we have here for you guys. Also, if you guys want to connect with us, I know that you guys were asking like for our contact information or a QR code. You guys can easily just fill this out as well. And that comes to both Daniel and myself, but we will provide you guys with all the other information also. Now, to touch on the coaching your corner, having that business advisor. So, and this is how, BMO, we do we have the one client approach where we cross-pollinate across different lines of business. So as you guys can see here, coaching your corner allows you to set up a 30-minute one-on-one coaching session with a BMO banker for either advice on financial topics that matter to you, whether or not you want to, like somebody said that you want to purchase your own business. You can connect with one of our small business officers to get guidance on like what are the steps to take, what are you really going to be looking at, and things of that sort. If they can't answer your questions for you, they will connect you with somebody that can. Now, when you register, I'm just going to do a mock one here. You get to ask your own questions as well. So you put in today's date. Are you a current customer? Yes or no? First name, last name, business name, if applicable. How long have you been around? Under 2 years, greater than 2 years, or other. Your revenue size, your preferred email, phone number, and method of communication. Where are you located? Your zip code. Here. I'm just going to type in things in here so we can get through the next page. Let's see if it works this way. All right. So how do you want your appointment? Virtual or in person? Do you require a Spanish speaking translator? Yes or no? And then these are just the topics that we already have curated ourselves. But right here, this is where you can really dive deep and ask any question that you may have. So for those of you guys that mentioned, like when is the right time to start looking for a succession plan or to connect with somebody, you could put that in there as well as like, hey, like I'm considering maybe selling the business in the next 3 to 5 years. I want to be able to speak with somebody so I can, work on a succession plan or an exit strategy. So with, and again, that's just our coaching corner. And this comes directly to me, and then I assign it to those coaches that we have internally here at the bank. All right, so now back to our PowerPoint here. And I want to pause. Rico, I don't know if there's any additional questions that have been put in the chat that we are missing.
We're going to look. Olivia, do you see anything that I might have missed? Great business plan. I don't think so. I do like that people did say hold off on questions. So
Yeah,
I think we can
let's
stay
keep
with
that so
schedule.
that we can keep moving.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because I also have a couple of questions and comments, but I'd like to address those at the end.
Perfect. Sounds good. All right. So then here is for the business life cycle, and this is straight from our wealth management article that was published a couple years ago. And these have been the same. They've always been the same. I learned about these, when I mentioned earlier that I've been around since 2013 in banking. When I went to my first credit training, I think this was like 2014, when I moved into business banking, this was one of the first things that they taught us, understanding the business life cycles. And it's very important for your banker to know these, but it's equally important for you as a business owner to know them the same way that it's important for you to understand some sort of accounting and how to read your own business financials, because you don't want to fully depend on somebody else. You want to be a master of your art and your craft, but you also want to have some understanding of what it is that your business is doing, how it fluctuates, and how it's working. So again, and this is going to give you guys basically an understanding on where your business may lie based on your goals as well. So the first stage is the startup stage. So these are new businesses. They don't necessarily have to be established. It can be a thought. So like somebody dropped in the chat that they're looking to purchase a business. You are currently in the startup stage. And the startup stage can, it can be leveraged for a couple of years as well. I'm not talking about like Silicon Valley that, they're a startup. Tesla is still considered a startup, even though they've been around for over 10 years. It's not like that. Usually startups get there until they become revenue generating, or after 3 years, that's when a business kind of grows out of the startup stage. And then they move on to the growth stage, which is where credit becomes important. You are growing, you're scaling your business, you're looking to grow, hire more people. Maybe you have more contracts that are coming in. So at that point, like, your cash might not be sufficient. So you want to start borrowing money from either a banking institution, a third party, or you want to crowdsource your money as well. But this is when you start thinking about those things, making sure that your business, and very important, I know that for accountants, they might not say this, and you as a business owner, you may also look to your accountant to help you lower your overall income so that you don't pay that much in taxes. But if you don't pay taxes, you do not look profitable to the bank, and you are not lendable. So you need to pay taxes, you need to have some income so that you can borrow money. So while you're in the growth stage, the most important thing to do is to have income to show so that you can borrow money when you need to. And this is going to help you build credit as well. This next stage after that is the maturity stage. So this is when you're already able to qualify for long-term. So there's multiple types of credit. So we have short-term credit. I like to call it midterm credit and long-term credit. Short-term credit is credit cards. So everybody, you can, as an individual, you can get one at the age of 18. Midterm credit is lines of credit. So it's in the in-between between a credit card and a line of credit. It's a lump sum of money that's there to help you with your cash flow needs. May that be payroll. If you're waiting on accounts payable to come in, that's kind of where you use it, where it's money that's available to you, and you're able to pay back within 30 to 60 days in full, while you have those cash flow gaps. While you're in the maturity stage, that means that you're able to borrow long-term, midterm, and commercial mortgages. So your business is growing, you need to buy a warehouse, maybe you need a line of credit of, think about it like personal wise. If you're buying a home, you start with the credit card, maybe you get a car loan next, and then the next big stage in your life is like, hey, like, now I want to buy a home, I can afford to buy a home. So think about it in that sense as well. And this is where credit is going to play a really big part in your business life, similar to the same way that it works for on our personal end. If I'm looking to buy a house, there's no way that I'm going to be buying a car before I close escrow. Like, that's something that you do after. So for any of those that have real estate friends, I'm sure you guys hear about that all the time, that right before escrow closes, the buyer decides to go buy a brand new Mercedes or a brand new Accord, something, and then they get a higher rate. So this is where you have to think and do the business planning. Again, bringing it back to having that business plan and stage. And then lastly, here is the exit stage, or the either succession or the exit strategy. So this is where your business no longer is self-sufficient at this point. Oftentimes it's something, like you want to retire, you have kids, your kids want to take over, and they've already been working at the business. They understand the ins and outs. If it's not somebody that's going to be within your family, maybe you have a manager that's been there for 10, 15 years and they know everything about the business and you want to sell it to them. this is where you become when you're part of the exit stage. So you want to start looking out to close a lot of the lines of credit that you have so that you can have that transitional stage happen onto the new ownership as well. So,
Angel, you just hit on something. I'm sorry for
yeah, go
interjecting.
for it.
So part of this piece where they're talking about this piece, and to piggyback off what Angel's talking about, like the personal steps, retirement planning, estate tax planning, family transition. So here at BMO, as part of my sector, this is what I deal with everyday clients that are going through certain life stages. So we use financial planning strategies to help with these certain exit strategies. So start from, if you want to build a business and you want to talk about credit, lending needs, and stuff like that, we focus on a plan to help out both personally and on the business side. And we have certain strategies that we can help out to plan your financial roadmap. So, and we can meet once a quarter and see where you're at in your life stages to help you to transition, for you could have that exit strategy already prepared. And a lot what's going on with in this political climate, with a lot of events with tariffs, higher interest rates, lowering. We have a lot of these everyday conversations with clients, and when they're talking about credit, so there's a lot of questions that we have. There's a lot of questions that a lot of clients have here at the bank that we come across on an everyday basis. So what I'm saying is that if you guys have questions and concerns about that, the first and foremost is to start with have a foundation, just like your businesses. Have a foundation, and one of those is having a financial plan. If you focus on having a financial plan, you could already minimize some of the risk or exposure, and then you already have your specialist in what you have your specialist in. You have your tax person who handles your taxes. You have your attorney that handles your legal matters. But also having a full financial plan and somebody in your corner, like how we do, and how we can answer those questions. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. And I'm sorry for interjecting a little bit on here, but talking about
No,
these life stages for clients, that's what we do on an everyday basis. And this is how we could help out by building a financial roadmap or a foundation to helping them out. So to helping out clients or prospects. Yeah, so that's my 2 cents.
Awesome, thank you, Ricky. I mean, you hit the nail right on the head there, because I was gonna bring it to you back, right? Because that piece there, that succession planning roadmap, is you're a key player. You're a key component in that process, right? You're the expert when it comes to assessing personal and family needs, goals, and the vision, right? So you can really support business owners through that process. Angel and I can support through the funding side for lending, but then obviously when it comes time to that exit stage, that's where people like you, right, premier relationship managers, really help cultivate that succession.
Yeah, and
To add a
and
little
that's
more color to
Yeah,
that,
yes, and thank you.
yeah, and
to add a
that's
little
why
more
I'm
color to everyone here attending, we just added some documents there for you to, when you have your leisure, go ahead and review exactly what Ricardo was talking, how everything works in the ecosystem, just ensuring that you have a plan for everything. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, thank you, Rico. And I just wanted to tie it all together. Like I mentioned earlier, here at BMO, we have the approach of the one clients, where one client can be serviced through everybody here at the bank, no matter what line of business we're in. So again, like I mentioned, Daniel said that, hey, like myself and him, we can help out with the lending side of things. And then we also have the coach in your corner, which is a business expert. But at the same time, like you need to have a team. Like, what is your dream team? And like Ricky mentioned, is like you have your lawyer, you have your accountant, you need to have your banking team. So once you have that, like you're setting yourself up for success. You need to have that business plan for your business and a personal plan as well too. Like you need to be able to have your succession planning roadmap. So those are the key four things that if you guys take anything away from this conversation, this little cafecito, is this, make sure that you build your all-star team of who's going to back you up. You yourself are a master of your craft, but who are the masters of everything else that are going to help you continue to master your craft and move forward as well. So with that, I just wanted to show the resource page here that we have for our Zero Barriers to Business team. And again, everything is going to be shared with you guys in the chat. This call is being recorded, so you guys will be able to go back and review this as well and click on any links. But with that being said, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. And I believe, Olivia, we're passing it back to you, right?
Yes, you're passing it back to us. So I just want to thank you all for being with us. But I want to address some of the questions that we had in the chat. So we give a fair opportunity to everyone who wanted to participate. So let me go back. Okay, so your information and your email address, will you be posting or sharing that information, or would you like us to do so? You can put it on the chat box.
I'll do it right now. I'm doing it for Daniel and myself.
All right, thank you. And then Diana had a question. I am impressed by your commitment to minority and women businesses. Are you concerned about how the administration in DC might impact on this?
I can take that one. So I think the key component to our program is self-identify, Diana. So as long as you self-identify as one or multiple of those minority segments, then our program has not been impacted. You know, we've been trained to full steam ahead, right? Nothing's going to change for our program. We're actually looking to expand our program to be able to support and be able to be inclusive, right, of everyone that's being impacted. So the administration hasn't really impacted our program itself, and then we're just looking to grow to be able to provide these resources to everyone that needs them.
Thank you. The next question, how can a city or municipality partner to host a small business roundtable to spread the word? We have a ton of small businesses that may not truly understand how to leverage these types of programs. So is there BMO specific branches in certain regions? I mean, aside from Latino, because I know you service the community, correct? So can someone in their city go to a local BMO and ask for assistance, or do they connect with you? How can you create an alliance with them?
Can I touch on this a little bit? I work out of the Manhattan Beach office in BMO, and we're part of the Chamber of Commerce. So there's some BMO. You could go to any BMO and get the advice or help. But we have some BMOs or some BMO bank managers that are really out there and being part of the Chamber of Commerce. Like we have one, a gentleman named by the Stuart Modesto that's really live with the Hispanic community out in Southgate. We're really live out here in the South Bay with the Hawthorne, Inglewood, trying to get out there. So we have like little community events, and that's what BMO wants to do, a lot of community outreach. So little by little, we're trying to get out there and be more active with the community. So hopefully that answers your question, but we're always open to having a roundtable discussion with business owners or even wealth management planning, stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, you can also contact the LA Latino Chamber. We're here to support you. So sometimes we may not have the resource, but we'll direct you in that way. So if you have any questions regarding BMO or anything else, we'd be happy to help you out. And then also secondly, if you look at flyers for other organizations and it has the BMO logo on it, attend. You know, BMO is really out there to partner with a lot of organizations. And like Ricky had mentioned, you know, it's important to be out there, get to know what the resources are, and really invite the community to participate in those events because we all put our hard time and effort and money into creating these programs that are available to the entire community. So, next question is, banking has changed dramatically where most employees in the bank have zero knowledge. Is the key to accessing capital called is to call you directly or detailing our business funding needs?
So I can take that one. And I also wanted to touch on the previous question again. So every single BMO branch has the capacity to host what we're doing right now too, but they do it in person. So we call it meeting in a box, where they get together with the community, either nonprofits to help out with the education, but also they invite their local community business owners in so that they can have roundtable discussions and learn about products and services that we have as well. But to touch on what you said, do go to the branches. You know, our branches are very skilled at what they do. Like I mentioned right now, they have once a quarter where they host these events that are called meeting in the boxes, So you're able to go there. If you feel that you need additional, use that link that I shared earlier, the coaching in your corner. That's the best. That's another way that you can go about it. If you're on the go, if you can't actually walk into a branch, use that link so you can have a coaching in your corner call set up, and just be patient with it.
Yeah. And I also like to make a couple. Oh, Rico has a question.
Oh, no question. Just more of a helpful statement. If there's any feedback on just what Angel said, if you're in the community and you might not have those events happening, right? You're not aware, you're like, whoa, well, that's not happening in my branch. I'm sure that with Olivia's support, please go ahead and reach out to her, reach out to me. I can share my email and we can start organizing much more within a grassroots, quote unquote, action forward kind of events that because of the community, hey, we would like to see this more in depth. Obviously, we can't get everyone to go through every page here, but just like Angel and Ricardo and even Olivia, myself, please do reach out and say, hey, you're not doing it in my area. We should do it here. Or you're not doing it well enough. We take feedback very, very, very to heart. So please do share anything from more events to not events to maybe other topics as well. Go ahead, Olivia.
Thank you.
Sorry. Hi, this is Ricky. Sorry for interjecting. But going back to Gabriel, where he was asking the question about banking has changed dramatically, where most employees in the bank have zero knowledge, is a key for accessing capital, calling you directly and detailing our business funding. So I wanted to touch on that. I've worked at different organizations. Has the banking industry changed a little bit? Yes, it has changed because with artificial intelligence, technologies is taking that, and with the pandemic, it's taken away that personal relationship. So one thing I would probably say is that get to know your bank employees, get to know the bank manager, get to know the people that work inside the bank, and the way you could either give us a call, book an appointment, or and we have these meeting in a box and these grassroots approach. Just get to know the people personally that work inside the branch. And a lot of the employees at BMO, they used to be Bank of the West. They merged over to BMO and they've been here for about 10, 15, 20 plus years. As other institutions, they have a lot of revolving door, which I get coming from different institutions. So get to know a lot of the people here at BMO have been with the bank for a relatively a long time and they building their careers and hopefully retire from here. So it's called building the relationship from the get-go with the clients. So that's one thing I wanted to touch on.
Thank you, Ricky. So I wanted to just make a couple comments. So can you share the importance of getting credit, lines of credit using your business and not your personal? Because sometimes a lot of business owners think they don't have business credit, so they'll rack up their own personal line of credits, and their credit score goes down versus the advantage of doing it through the business side.
I can take that one here. So it's important for everybody that's a business owner to understand that every bank does a personal guarantee.
Mhm.
What that means is that your personal credit matters very much so. A lot of banks don't report to the Dun and Bradstreet, which is the business credit bureaus, but you always need to be able to leverage everything within your personal. There's always going to be a personal guarantee. However, here at BMO, if you obtain business credit with us, we report it for your business credit. So you are building credit within the business bureaus, but again, everything is tied to the personal guarantee.
Mhm.
So if you're fully leveraged and you maxed out everything on your personal end, you're not going to necessarily cash flow, and it's going to be very difficult for you to obtain credit. And when you do, you may have the higher tier interest rates as well. So it's being financially responsible about how you're leveraging your money, both on the personal and the business side. And that goes, and this is like a topic from our meeting in our boxes, where if you guys reach out to your local branch manager at a BMO, you can ask them when they're having their next meeting in a box, and they can let you know. And if they don't have one, that's their cue to plan one. But we have a topic where we go over the 5 C's of credit, character being one of them, which talks about how you treat credit yourself, not just as a business, but overall, how I myself, Angel Pastrana, how do I use my personal credit cards? Because when they run my credit, they run everything. So they get to see how many missed payments do I have, how many card notes do I have, how many times have I applied for credit in the last 12 months. and then they make a determination based on all of that. Everything gets factored in together to make a determination whether yes, we want to let this person borrow money or no.
Thank you. And then I'd like to just have a quick question. You mentioned a 30-minute coaching. Are these, if someone needs additional time for coaching, is this free or do they have to be a BMO client?
Yeah, great question, Olivia. I'll take that one. Yeah, so those services are free. You don't have to be a BMO client. If you want to, have more than one session, you're welcome to register for additional sessions.
Mhm.
Again, there's no commitment, right, to being a BMO client. But we'd love for you, to check out BMO and also utilize those resources that we're offering. So there's no limit. If you want to have multiple sessions, you are free to do so.
And I think that's really key because that's when you start creating that relationship, right? You have one person who is helping you, and it's best to stick with one person versus going to different institutions or people because they're really going to know um, what your situation is. So another thing, so on these coaching sessions, are they only English and Spanish, or they're available in different languages?
So as I
We
went
have, I'll take,
no, sorry. So as I went down through it, you can request a Spanish translator. The thing is, we we can translate as much as possible, but it's really based on the capacity of our employees.
Okay.
So that's why currently right now we have it in English and Spanish because we do have a lot of English and Spanish speakers ourselves.
Okay.
But if you have a different preferred language, feel free to drop it in the notes.
Mhm.
And if we can find somebody or we can identify somebody that speaks it, then we will go about it that way.
Okay, perfect. So I guess we have a couple more questions. Let's see. Let me see.
I believe it's the connecting with the Philippine professional in non-for-profit sector. How could
Yeah.
I get about connecting with you folks on the philanthropy interests for Zero Barriers program? We serve and foster youth in LA County and the majority of our youth in Atlantic. So for non-for-profits.
I'll take that one, Genesis. I just dropped the link there. If you click on that link, that's going to take you to our community giving landing page, and it kind of gives you at a glance of what we're doing. You'll see on there what our giving priorities are, and then how to request donation, event sponsorship, and then our grant. You'll see there we have an apply button, and then based on their capacity, they'll reach out to you and connect with you directly. So hopefully you were able to see that link that I dropped.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Daniel, you want to touch on the CDFI partners? I see that Osvaldo asked that question about what are we doing alternatively with CDFIs?
Let me see. Yeah, definitely. So through our third pillar, right, for our Zero Barriers to Business program. So we have roughly around 52 nonprofit CDFIs and CDCs that we work with. In case you're not familiar with what a CDFI is a community development financial institution that's funded through the state, city, local governments, and then also by financial institutions such as BMO. So we actually train the field, right? So if you're talking to one of our small business officers, or you're talking to one of our business relationship managers, or even Ricky on the Premier side, right? And we evaluate what life stage your business is in. And for whatever reason, if you're not able to qualify through our programs, then we can connect you with those alternative funding sources that we partner closely with, right? So depending if you're just starting your business, unfortunately, you won't be able to qualify directly from BMO or another financial institution. But at that point, we can connect you with one of these CDFIs that can provide you with that alternative funding source based on where you are in your business.
Okay, thank you. And then there's a question from Gabriel. As bankers, what are some of the biggest challenges or obstacles you have seen Latino business owners have that others have not experienced? How do you believe the wealth gap can be narrowed?
Nobody wants to take that one, huh?
No, I mean, I could touch on it a little bit. So coming from being I guess second generation Latino Hispanic, Sometimes some of the obstacles that I've seen from first generation to second generation has been financial literacy or financial opportunities. That is the biggest because, and then so that's been the biggest is educating our you know our you know our group of Latinos, Hispanics, trying to get them the coach them, educate them, and this is part of it right now. A meeting with the Latino Chamber of Commerce, doing community events, and trying to help them, trying to help or educate our communities, to giving them the opportunities to look at different financial opportunities from like building a checking account, building building credit, how to get funding for capital on business accounts. How can and then one of the biggest impacts that I could see is that business owners, when it comes to tax reporting, the biggest one is tax reporting. And this is where having the best CPA or the great tax preparer being in your corner, because I get it. I bet, like I said, I'm a Latino, I'm a Latino Hispanic, and my parents, I've seen it. Even till now, they're like, well, I don't want to pay that much in taxes, so I don't want to report enough in income. I get it. But when you come lending to a bank, they're going to look at it as a risk exposure. So that's the biggest hurdle, is how to prepare yourself well on the tax portion, but also having the financial knowledge and the financial opportunities for us to communicate on that. But that's been my biggest hurdle, the tax portion.
Yeah, well said, Ricky. I think, and I can kind of piggyback on that too. I think that's the biggest hurdle, right? Reporting, taxes and things of that sort. I have this phrase that I say when I talk to our community. It's like, we have to get away from the UTM and then to the ATM. Do we know what the UTM is? Under the mattress. Get that money from out under the mattress and start depositing into your bank account, because that's going to give us a better opportunity to gauge how much capacity your business has to get a loan.
Or to add to that, Ricardo, instead of the mattress, get it out of the envelope, right?
Yeah. And another thing
Hiding
here,
it around your house, I would say.
Yeah.
another thing that's very important here, and I'll just be brutally honest, is accountability from ourselves as Hispanic and Latinos.
Mhm.
I'm glad that to see that today we have over like at least or close to 100 people on this call. If we're having these calls and you guys see about it, like, and you guys say that you're gonna show up and then you don't, you're only hurting yourself as a business owner by not including yourself in that education. It also, like, we don't work together that well as a community. It's oftentimes it feels like it's all against each other, where if we were to work together better, we will be very successful, like many other communities out there as well. They all help each other out. That's something that my friends and I, we've instilled, is like, hey, like if one of us makes it or one of us gets a deal, we're gonna teach the other so that we can replicate it and replicate it and replicate it. Because it's not like, hey, like I got it and then I'm good. And pardon my ignorance here, but like we need to stop being haters of each other. That's really what hurts us a lot, is that we don't play nicely with each other. And the more that we can, break down that barrier, that it's okay to ask for help, it's okay to reach out. And we get it, we have the language barrier as well, but being able to ask for help and put our pride aside is going to help us be more successful as individuals, as people, and as business owners as well in this society.
Amen to that. So,
And just to answer some questions, Olivia, I know people are asking for contacts. We will
yes.
definitely have that information for all of you guys, even the materials that we were just copy and pasting. Make sure you have a nice little links, etc., that you all can share, read through, and if you have any questions, reach out as well. So
Yeah, so
please
we'll
don't
be
worry about
sending
that.
out a thank you email. Yeah, we'll be sending out a thank you email with the presentation and links to everyone. But you can also save the chat from today's webinar, so that way you could see all the links and all the names and all the questions that were addressed. And sometimes that just sparks additional conversation for you to have with one of the BMO reps. But I'd like to thank everyone for sticking with us. And before I start on the events that are coming up, the first slide is going to be about the BMO grant. So can someone on the team share a little bit more about that? So it's been on our social media. We shared it on our calendar of events on Monday. But now that we have you here with us, please share so that folks can apply.
Yeah, let me share my screen if I can. All right. Hopefully you guys can see my screen.
And it's in the same link that we dropped earlier also.
Yep. So as you can see, yesterday, August 5th, we launched our BMO Celebrating Women Grant Program. So this program is recognizing business owners driving innovation, growth, and lasting community impact. I won't go to the full slide, but as you can see here, we are going to be, U.S. small businesses are eligible to apply for one of 15 grants at $10,000 each. So we're excited that we launched the grant portal yesterday. It opened at 8 a.m. Eastern time and will close on August 19th, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So you're welcome to apply within that 2-week period. And to qualify, businesses must demonstrate their commitment to the advancement of women and share their high-level business growth plans. So on that link, you'll see there, on that flyer, you'll see the links to the grant program, or you can scan that QR code to be able to apply for the grant. And then just kind of some key highlights of who can apply, right? So US-based businesses that are for profit, operating for at least 2 years as of August 5th, 2025, annual revenues of less than 5 million, not a previous recipient. And then for full details, you can refer to the official terms and conditions for complete information there. And then as part of our program as well, you'll see there's no commitment or purchase or BMO account necessary to apply. So if you're interested in the program, feel free to apply. And then we will be announcing winners, correct me if I'm wrong, Angel, October. That's when we will be announcing the 15 recipients of our grant. So for more information, Olivia has shared the flyer with you all. And then please take a look at it, and it'll show you all the full terms and conditions.
Yeah, we'll be sharing it by email, a standalone email. In the next couple of days. I got to see where it's scheduled at in the pipeline. But is this only for California, SoCal? Is it on the Western states? Is it all throughout the United States? Okay, so 15 business and nonprofits cannot apply because it needs to be for profit, correct?
Correct. For profit companies, and I believe last year we had 4 recipients in California.
Oh, nice.
2 in Southern California and 2 in Northern California.
All right, perfect. So
and of those, 2 were BMO clients, 2 were non-BMO clients. And to give you guys all like understanding, we had over 5,200 individuals apply last year across the nation. We're hoping to get double that this year as well. But the more that apply, the better it is. It's, there's a video submission in there as well. So oftentimes, and this is what I mentioned earlier, is like about accountability. If you're gonna, if you want to reach out for some money, there's some steps that you need to do. There's some homework, some hurdles, but this is something that, nothing comes easy. So like, you just got to do the work for it.
Yeah, and I can attest to the fact that I know it's cumbersome doing a video because people are going to say, well, I really can't speak. But we also have a grant program, and we didn't have it this year, but it was another one with another organization. And people kind of were reluctant to submit video, but let me tell you, that video really makes a difference. You can see people on paper, you can read about it, they got over 5,000 applications, but the video, they'll see you'll tell your story and your why of applying. So that's really key. And I love video submissions because it makes you more compassionate about one over the other, and it makes us the process selection a lot easier. So kudos to that. Happy to be here of service. So thank you very much, and thank you BMO for being a participant today.
Thank you, Olivia.
All right, thank you everyone. Okay, bye-bye.